another point to be noted is that a linear equation gives a straight line when plotted on an xy plane. A linear equation gives a straight line, linear and line. So once if that's understood, what do you mean by a nonlinear equation? An equation that does not represent a straight line. It can be a quadratic or cubic where you have the power of the variables greater than 1. Now, another simple question to you. If I say 5 is equal to 3 plus 2 and I say 5 is equal to 4 plus 1. So, can I write 3 plus 2 being equal to 4 plus 1? Yes or no? Yes. So this kind of techniques are going to be used when we are dealing with equations here. And this part, for those who don't remember, is called the LHS, the LHS of the equation, which is nothing but the left hand side. And this part is called the RHS, which stands for the right hand side of an equation. So just with these knowledge, let's start the topic. Level 1, solve for x and y. Now I'll be putting each questions under each level so that you can differentiate when you learn. The first question, y equals 20 minus 2x and y equals x squared minus 16x plus 68. Now it's very clear that the power of the first equation is a linear one, and here you have the power of x being 2, which stands for a quadratic equation or a nonlinear equation. Now from here, equation 1 and equation 2, you can see that the LHS are equal. Here you have y on the left hand side and here you have y on the left hand side again for the second equation. In this case, since the LHS of 1 equal to 1 in the sense equation 1 equals to the LHS of equation 2, I will equate the RHS. So that's what I'm going to do. Watch carefully. So using 1 and 2, I can say 20 minus 2x is going to be equal to x squared minus 16x plus 68. Rearranging the equation, I'm bringing these terms to the right hand side. So I have 0 here, and here I already have the x squared. I have a minus 16x here. I have a plus 68, which is already a part of the right hand side, and the plus 20 from here, when shifted to the other side, it turns negative, so negative 20, and the negative 2x turns positive 2x. So that's how the equation is rearranged. So I can also write x squared. I have the like terms, negative 16x and plus 2x, so that's going to be minus 14x. 68 minus 20 giving me a positive 48 is equal to 0. Now I have got my quadratic equation. So using the sum and product method, I will call for the sum is nothing but the term in the middle. My sum here is negative 14 and my product is 48. Finding two numbers, which is going to give me a sum for negative 14 and a product 48, will be, the numbers are going to be negative 8 and negative 6, because the product is a positive 48 and the sum is a negative 14. Now, so I can write this quadratic equation as x squared minus 8x minus 6x plus 48 equals 0. The middle term here is split as negative 8x and minus 6x. So taking the common term, x minus 8 minus 6, x minus 8 is equal to 0. X minus 6, x minus 8 equals to 0. For students who have problem with solving a quadratic equation, you can use a quadratic formula or watch the videos where I have shared the technique of solving a quadratic equation. So from this, I can say my x values are going to be x equals 6 or x equals 8. Now I have found the two values for x, which is 6 and 8. Now make sure that your question doesn't end there. You have to solve for x and y. So let's see what is the value for y when you have x equals 6 or x equals 8. So that's the last part of the question. So let me just erase this part. I'll use this space here. Now let me divide the page. For x equals 6, my y will be 20 minus 2x. So I'm replacing the value there. 20 minus 2 times 6, which is 12. So 20 minus 12, y equals 8. Now what happens for x equals 8? Y equals 20 minus 2x. So I have y equals 20 minus 2 times 8, which is 20 minus 16. So y is going to be 4. I have got two solutions. Once you get the solutions, you can write it as the solutions are x equals 6 and y equals 8, or you have x equals 8 and y equals 4. So this is your final answer. Now in level 2, if you look at the equations, you can see that they are not as straightforward as the previous level. Now for solve for x and y, it's not like y equals, and again the two equations were not direct. So you have some kind of rearrangements that need to be done to get your equations in your required form. So that is your step 1. So equation 1 can be rearranged as y equal to minus 10x minus 31. Do you agree? The plus 10x and the plus 31 shifts to the other side of the equation. So I have this as my first equation now. Okay, so this is my rearranged equation which I'm going to use for my further solving. And here I'm just making y the subject again. So it's going to change as x squared minus 6. So this is my second equation. So this is the only difficulty or the difference that you have from level 1 and level 2. You have to make y the subject for both equations. So once this is done, you just have, you can see the LHS. Here you have y for the equation 1 and the LHS here is again y. So you just equate the RHS, which means you write negative 10x minus 31 is going to be equal to x squared minus 6. So bringing the terms to one side, you have 0 equals x squared minus 6. Minus 31 shifting to the other side becomes plus 31, and minus 10x to the other side it turns to plus 10x. Rearranging, you have x squared plus 10x and minus 6 plus 31, giving you a 25. So again, you have your quadratic equation ready. You have got x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. Now, looking for the sum and product method, my sum here is plus 10 and my product is 25. So the two numbers will be plus 5 and plus 5, which is giving me a sum 10 and a product 25. So x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25 equals 0. I have just split the middle term as it should be, and x, the common terms. You can skip some of these steps if you're confident in writing x plus 5 times x plus 5 directly. Or even if you check with the identity, this is x plus 5 the whole square, giving you x squared plus 25 plus 10x. So it's the identity. So you have x equals minus 5. Now once you have got the value for x, you use one of the equations. I'm using the first one, using equation 1 now to find y. I have y equals negative 10x minus 31. So my y is going to be minus 10 multiplied by minus 5 minus 31. So y is going to be minus 50. Okay, you have a negative times negative, so positive 50 minus 31, and your answer for y is 19. So the solution here is x equals negative 5 and y equals 19. That's it. Now coming to level 3, solve for x and y. In this question you can see that making y the subject is a bit more complicated. So you have 3y plus 4x equals 15. So I will write 3y as 15 minus 4x, because I have removed this positive 4x to the other side. And my y here is going to be 15 minus 4x over 3. I know y equals 15 minus 4x over 3. And my second equation y tells me it's 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. So again, equating, since the LHS are the same, I'm equating the RHS. 15 minus 4x over 3 is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. Cross multiplying, I have 15 minus 4x equal to 3 times 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. So I have 3 here, I have just cross multiplied it, giving me a multiplication. So 15 minus 4x equals 6x squared minus 9x plus 15. I have expanded the brackets, multiplying each term with 3. Rearranging the equation, now I can see a 15 here and a 15 here with the same sign cancelled. And what remains is 6x squared minus 9x. Shifting the negative 4x to the other part of the equation, it's plus 4x equals 0. So I have 6x squared minus 9 minus 4 is going to be 5x equals 0. Now how to find x? I'll take x as a common term. So I have 6x minus 5 equal to 0, giving me x equals 0, or 6x minus 5 equal to 0, from which my x is 5 over 6. As we did in the previous steps, you have to substitute the value for x in these equations and you get the value for y. Okay, let me just erase the space so that I can do further simplification and show you how to find the value for y. Now dividing it for x equals 0 and for x equals 5 over 6. Y equals 2 times, again you have a 0 term, again a 0 term and plus 5, so you get y equals 5. Any term multiplied by 0 turns 0, so these terms will get cancelled, or it just turns 0 and you have 5 there. And when you have x equals 5 by 6, now for x equals 5 over 6, you can substitute y is going to be 2 times 5 squared, yeah, x squared, so I'll square it, 25 over 36 minus 3 times 5 over 6 plus 5. So my y is going to be 25 over 18 minus 5 over 2 plus 5. Use your calculator. So that's going to be, y is going to be equal to 3.89. I'm taking the answer to 3SF because it comes as 3 point. Now you get y equals 3.8888. It keeps on recurring. Solutions are x equals 0, y equals 5, or x equals 5 over 6, y equals 3.89. That's it. I hope this video helps you in learning this topic. Thank you.